All right, what's up? It's Tuesday. It's draft day. My mic's not plugged in. I probably sound terrible right now. Got a lot of new faces in this draft tonight. Should be very interesting to see. Mr. Boom, let's get it. I agree. Let's get it. So we got CCM C Peak at the 1. I've never seen him before. Glad to have him. Brad 8 at the 4. He's new. I think Matt Hill has been in one other draft. Tomislav, I think, is new. What's up, Elgin? Welcome to the chat. I see you on YouTube. Glad to have you. And then I think J Don, I'm going to assume J Don 1432 is also new. So that's like 5 new guys. That's good. What's up, Kenny? Good to see you on the YouTube. Glad you're tuning in. Hopefully we get some people on the Zoom with me so you guys don't just have to listen to me talk the whole time. I'm sure Jordan will jump on. Jeremy asking for the Zoom. Of course you can get the Zoom, buddy. Let me get it for you. Oh, my. There you go, Jeremy. Just posted it on the YouTube. Jordan's hopping on. Always nice to have Jordan on. What's up, Jordan?
Hey, Chris.
How are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
Good, thanks. Good to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
What's that?
Pleasure to be here.
All right. Stinger, what's up? Stinger on the Zoom.
Hey.
Jeremy on the Zoom. Jeremy, I thought you were going to jump in the draft. What happened? You're muted, Jeremy. I don't know if you can hear me, but you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I turned off the YouTube audio before.
Thank you. Yeah. I thought you were going to jump in the draft. I posted the link in the Discord.
Yeah, I wanted to wait and see if some new people jumped in. I was trying to.
That was nice of you. That was nice of you.
Different people. So like Sunday isn't full, but I thought I'd wait a little bit and see who else joins.
Yeah, I'm sure Sunday, if you guys like Jordan, how many people do we even have on Sunday right now? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, it wasn't very many. I can check for you real quick if you want.
I can look right here.
Yeah. There's 5 spots open.
Yeah, so Jordan, if you're available Sunday, you want to draft again, I'm sure it'll still be open.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Yeah, I wasn't able to get into Thursday because I spent Sunday with my mother, obviously, taking care of her. So
yeah, it's all good.
But I'm here for today. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We got some new people. We got the number 1's new. Brad 8, he's new.
Yeah, I see a lot of new faces. It's cool.
Yeah, it should be an interesting.
Chris. Chris, I was about to ask you, like, if I could have drafted today, because I'm already on the one for Thursday. Because I'm not sure if anybody new wanted to come in and draft, and you could take my spot if
No, I posted it in the Discord like an hour ago because we had 2 spots open. So I was like,
yeah.
So no, I don't think it was gonna fill. I don't think somebody. If people hadn't jumped in by now, they weren't gonna jump in. So
that's what I was assuming, that when I saw it on the Discord, that it was like free game for anybody to come in.
Yeah, you're good.
I saw AO, you took the 10 spot. I was like, man, I'm gonna get sniped out of that 10 spot. Great.
Hey, we can switch if you want, bro. I'll take the 12.
No worries. No, I like where I'm at. I was just...
you
Oh,
guys
okay.
you guys all got the emails, right?
Yeah, I got the email.
Yes.
That's weird. Like, because this week I've had a few people say they didn't get the email, which is weird because nothing's changed. Here, I'll post the Discord in the sleeper chat right here.
What were you saying to me, Jeremy? I think you were saying something.
I was gonna say, how dare you take care of your mother on Mother's Day?
I know, right?
Shame
How
on you.
dare I?
Shame.
Shame on me.
I mean, that's the only thing different is because same thing, Jordan. I was with my mom, so I didn't send the emails out till like 6 o'clock my time, which is 9 o'clock for you East Coasters. That's the only thing that was different, but I don't see how that would like affect who gets it or not. So it's weird. What's up, Pierre?
Hey, you don't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you. All right, we got to see if these people are here.
No boom mic today.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I got it. I don't know how to hide it. Right up here. Why is it obnoxious?
No. I just
No,
Ah,
it's
you just
cool.
look pro.
Yeah, exactly.
No, really. If it's like stupid or obnoxious, because I always even said like I hate sometimes the dudes who make it look too hard, like they're in a studio, you know, we have like all the speakers and shit all over the place and the microphone and all this, and like I'm only using this because I got it, and it's supposed to be good, but. Actually, can you even see it there? Yeah, whatever.
Well, we might need a couple. So, Jeremy, you're on here. See, we'll see if
Yeah,
this
if someone doesn't show, I'm more than happy to draft in their spot.
Yeah.
It looks like. Well, I mean, it's full. It looks like a couple people don't have green lights. I'm not
Well,
sure.
I know. I saw Matt Hill. I saw Matt turn green at one point. The only ones I haven't seen green is the number one guy, CCM Peak. He's new, and Tomislav. I think he's new too. Have we ever seen him before? He doesn't look familiar to me.
I don't remember.
No, but isn't Tom the one from the Discord who was trying to get in, or Matt? Oh,
Maybe.
Matt Hill is probably the one.
Matt is Arsenal. He's Arsenal.
Okay.
He's the one who was saying he didn't get the email, and I sent when you guys were talking about it. He's Arsenal. And I know he's here because he's in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
So it changed his handle or what?
No, I think he's Matt normally, but just on Sleeper, I think he's Arsenal. Elgin asking us rank Ridley, DK, AJ Brown.
DK number 1, DK number 2, DK number 3.
I got him Brown,
like
DK. I got him Brown, DK, Ridley. What do you think, Jordan?
Sorry, what was the question?
Rank Ridley, DK Metcalf, and AJ Brown.
That's tough.
I'm gonna go AJ, DK, Ridley. But if Julio moves, Ridley goes up.
I think I have him AJ, Ridley, DK.
All right. Yeah, I mean it's all like to me, they're all like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, they're in the same tier. So I mean,
yeah.
it's definitely a tough one.
Yeah, it's like you draft any of those guys, you're feeling good.
Yeah, I watched back the draft on Sunday. I felt like a proud son that made his father hip when I saw Bell take Montgomery and Logan Thomas.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I converted my father to the hip way. You know,
that was an interesting draft. All right, cool. He's here. Okay, so CCM just went green, so we're just missing Tomislav. If not, if he doesn't show up, Jeremy, you can draft for him at the 7.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm surprised in Sleeper, even though like because I can get in I guess the mock, but I can't do anything once I'm in there, which is really weird.
No, I know. I really wish Flea Flicker didn't suck so bad at when when we tried it, because I could like a guy, like I could kick him out. I can pause the draft and go back. Like that part was really nice. Like when I had to undo a pick, it was really easy. Like in here, I have to hit pause, have to set the pit. It's like annoying. There's definitely some stuff about Sleeper that's really annoying. I wish Flea Flicker would have been better, but oh well. I guess they all have their like good and bad, right? None of them is perfect. Maybe that's our next project. We got to come together and create the perfect fantasy football platform that solves all these issues.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with how big Sleeper's getting that they would make these adjustments, especially to the mock drafts.
Yeah, I don't understand why you can't I don't understand why you can't kick people. Like what? That doesn't make any sense. Like why can't I kick somebody?
Chris just wants to kick it. He's just a big old meanie.
Oh, just the only one that I suggested is Fan Tracks, which I've mainly used for baseball, but they have a ton of options, but they're not always it's not. That's why I like Sleeper, so user friendly. It's more intuitive, and it's prettier. Fan Tracks probably has the options, but I don't know if people would like it better.
I feel like we used Fan Tracks one time for a league, and it was like I drafted and never looked at it again because I was like, I cannot stand this platform. But maybe I'm thinking, was that Fan Tracks or something else?
No, it could be.
It was like so bad. Like we did the draft. I think it was like one of the free Rotoballer challenge leagues. So I didn't care anyways. It wasn't like I was too invested, but I did the draft and I was like, this platform is so horrible. I don't even want to go in and try to like set my lineup or do my waivers. I was like, no, I'm out. Or maybe it was a best ball. I think that's what it was. So I didn't have to do anything in it anyways. But even going back and trying to check, like even me trying to go in and figure out like how my best ball team is doing was a pain. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't see Tomislav yet. Everybody else is here. So Jeremy, you can draft for him. And then if he ends up showing up later on, he can take over. So you guys ready?
Let's get it.
Yep.
Here we go. All right. So I don't know if CCM is listening, but CCM, welcome to the mocks. You're kicking it off for us. Here we go. Shocker. Oh wait, I'm number 2 today. I forgot. That's right.
With a name like CMC, who would have thought?
Yeah. I'm actually wondering because CCM is like a hockey. I used to play hockey, so it's like a hockey brand. I'm wondering if it's a hockey reference.
I'll stay on brand. Go Barkley. We get to snipe each other this time, of course. Which I was pissed. I don't know if you saw my message. We're in a drafters best ball league together, and 2 spots away, he sniped me on Tua. I was gonna get my second quarterback, and he took Tua ahead of me.
Who did?
Wow.
Me?
Yeah, you did. You took
Shameless.
Tua.
Which is funny because I don't draft Tua very often because I typically take like 2 quarterbacks in that Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan range. So I usually take like a quarterback in like the 8th and like the 10th or 11th. But in that draft, for some reason, like all the quarterbacks went earlier. And so I was looking for my QB2 and I was like, hey, there's Tua. I'll take him. Honestly, I don't even know when you're in a draft with me because I'm literally in every draft and I just look at my team, look who's available. Like I look at my team and I'm like, okay, I need. Oh, Jeremy, you're up.
Yeah, I know. I'll take Elliott.
Nice. Yeah, I just look at my team, like what I need. Then I go look at who's available, and then I make my pick, and then I just move on to the next draft.
Yeah, well, that's the difference. You got like 50 drafts at once. In drafters, I'm only doing 1 right now just because I have all my dynasty rookie leagues plus another best ball. So it's like you can only do so many at a time.
You also have to worry about baseball, so you don't have to worry about that. I just got just football.
I had to catch up on the weekend.
Just football and the Lakers having to play their way into the playoffs. That's all I have to worry about.
Oh man,
LeBron James not getting hurt again, or Anthony Davis not getting hurt again.
So, speaking of Tua, since he sniped you, I've been thinking a lot that this year for quarterbacks, I feel like it's like make or break for a bunch of them, and Tua is
Yeah.
like one of them for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like Tua, Hurst,
Darnold
Darnold.
for sure.
Yeah, I feel like
I'll say Darnold.
we're gonna get a lot of either they're gonna be fired or just designated at number twos, or try to trade and see if other teams want them, see if they can rehabilitate them or whatever. So
No, definitely. Well, Darnold, I think, like, yeah, you're right. With a guy like Tua, other teams could say, hey, we can. But you look at a guy like Darnold, he's going through that phase right now, right? So if he fails in Carolina, is another team going to take a chance on him at that point, or NFL teams going to be like, nah, he's nothing but a backup? So yeah,
I think,
Darnold for sure.
yeah, I think some teams will definitely want him as a backup. Oh, it's
Yeah.
me. Can you go to wide receivers real quick? I know a whole bunch just went off.
We just talked about it. AJ Brown,
Yeah.
DK Metcalf are gone.
I'll take Ridley here.
Yeah, you're right, and that's crazy though. To me, still, I'm not used to the new mindset where after 1 year, if a quarterback isn't, proven he's the man, like that's it, he's toast. It's like what happened to it? You sit a year and watch, and then you play, and then because even Mahomes had that luxury, right? He didn't play his first season, and Rodgers had how many seasons he didn't play. Now it's like after a couple games, like, look, it's like prove it. So
Exactly.
Well, whatever. That's the thing. If not, then they'll move on. Especially Dolphins now, they're going to be in win now mode because they built their team, right? Now there's no excuses. So they're not going to be patient.
I might sound biased because I'm a Dolphins fan like you, Pierre. But I mean, Tua went 6-2 as a starter. So I don't understand all the hate for Tua. He wasn't asked to do a whole lot. He didn't have to throw the ball 50 times a game like Justin Herbert because they were losing every game. He just didn't want to make that critical mistake that cost us the game. So that's why he was so passive. Plus, he was rehabbing the hip. The O-line was terrible, 26th in the league. He had the least amount of time per drop back to get rid of the ball. I mean, there's going to be a lot of room for improvement come year 2 for him.
Yeah, you just can't help yourself with those two running back start. You got Keenan Allen on the board, Michael Thomas on the board, Terry McLaurin on the board.
Stand I'll get one of those guys on the way back because you're obviously going to take
not necessarily
two receivers.
You shouldn't have gotten one of them on the way back, but I think CCM is gonna let one fall to you.
Yeah, he just took a running back. So no, but that's the thing. It's like I can't go on my soapbox about Tua without just being an obvious homer. But it's true. I mean, it's not like he stunk it up last year. Like he was throwing mad picks everywhere. I mean, he actually played pretty well. He just didn't play great from a fantasy perspective, but that's because he wasn't told to go out and sling it. Like he was told to manage the game and and not make mistakes, and he didn't. I mean, he was efficient.
Look, I was super high on Tua in the draft. I wanted Washington to draft him instead of Chase. I think he was fine last year. Obviously, he didn't light the world on fire, but he was fine. But you got to think they were careful with him with that injury, coming off that injury. I think, like Jeremy said, if this year, if he doesn't take a step forward this year, then that's when you have to think maybe he's just what he is. He's not a bad quarterback. Like he'll never be a bad quarterback. He'll just be one of those, like, I'm saying if he doesn't take a step this year, he'll just be one of those like Kirk Cousins types who, like, you can get by with him, but he's not gonna like put your team over the hump, right? Like
not a franchise quarterback, not a top 5 pick, not the guy who, coming out of college.
Like a starter, but not a guy who's gonna alter your franchise.
You also have to think, though, he did flash at times. Think back to the Arizona game. He went toe-to-toe with Kyler Murray. I mean, that was a phenomenal game.
No, I think
went back and forth.
No, like I said, I'm a Tua guy. I definitely think he can. I'm just saying if he doesn't, like if he stays the same, then that's when you have to say, okay, this is just who he is.
Of course, yeah, 100%. Especially with all the weapons he has around him now and improved offensive line.
Can you go to running back? Sorry, cut you off, Jay.
Yeah, but I like Tua. I like I said, I wanted Washington to draft him. I mean, Chase is great, but Chase isn't going to change your franchise like a quarterback.
Can you give me Cup?
You had me go to the wide receivers and then you took Cup.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just want me to do more work over here,
I mean,
huh?
Solid.
What up,
Nice
Braun?
one.
See you in the YouTube chat. You can't snipe me today, Braun. Can't snipe me today. Dang, this is.
But
I don't even know. Okay,
Not-
you guys. I'm gonna do a live. One of these days, I'm gonna do a best ball draft live on the channel, and you guys are gonna be floored by because like if I was drafting from
I'll
the
ask
two,
for them.
if I was drafting from the two, I'd probably go Dalvin Cook, and then I'd probably get like Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, and then I'd probably get like Keenan Allen on the way back, and then I'd probably get like Deontay Johnson, and then I'd probably get Cooper Kupp. No joke. That would be my
That's
team.
insane.
It's crazy. Like our drafts are so much tougher than my best ball drafts.
I wish I could do best ball.
Like that.
Sounds so much fun.
Why can't you?
All right, because in my states, it's illegal, I guess, supposedly.
What? Where the hell you live?
I'm in Washington State.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yes, it sucks. Yeah.
Are they all? Like, have you tried all the sites?
Wow.
I tried Underdog, but I'm not sure. I know there's more, but I haven't looked into it. Look to the other sites to see.
yeah,
Mm.
I know ours is weird. So in Kentucky, you can't bet on professional sports teams, but you can bet on individuals.
No, that's
So-
how it is. That's how it is out here too. It's like you can't because I don't know why they treat it differently out. It's like,
Yeah.
Jordan getting
No, it doesn't make
Edwards
sense. Like,
Alaire
I'm
in the
in
fourth is pretty
Texas.
nice.
Like
Texas,
where I'm
you
at,
can do anything,
DraftKings
right?
is legal, but FanDuel is not. Like, how
What?
does that make sense?
I thought Texas you could do whatever you want.
No, they're
Really?
conservative.
For the most part, it depends.
Well, sports betting is only legal in I think 27 states currently. So they're still looking to expand that. I know Connecticut, where I live, it just became legal within the last couple months. So, but they are working on it for other states.
Anyways.
Yeah, getting Edwards Alaire at the 4-2. That's good. I mean, he almost can't. Even if he's what he was last year, that's still like fine at that point.
Hey, Chris, can you scroll down?
Yeah, I mean, as far as value there as my first running back, I love it.
Yeah, you're looking at for wide receivers or running backs?
Wide receiver. Just want to see.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
this thing scrolls fast.
Yeah, it does. I didn't hear.
I mean, you're looking at the guys who, let's see, the guys who usually go around here. Who's left?
It looks like DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett, and Adam Thielen.
Yeah, this is the thing, man. These wide receivers fly off the board quick in these drafts now.
Can you go to running back? See if I can find anyone. Like, yeah, give me Chris Carson.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick there. Carson again. Carson at the 4-6. I mean, you whatever he does this year, you're gonna be okay with that at the 4-6.
Yeah. I just didn't like any of the wide receivers left.
At least I feel better that Carson won't fall to me at this round. Could have had him.
Oh man, if you would have taken Carson, you would have had no wide receivers. I'm already like sitting there thinking like, man, who am I gonna take for wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
It's already
I
dried up
just
that
took
much.
my first receiver.
Yeah. Oh, you got Kittle, so
Yeah, I was
you're the tight end builds.
I was so happy Waller and Kittle went before me because I was just like, I really don't want to have to debate the tight end position for my third pick.
I feel like it was a mistake drafting Kittle there because there are good wide receivers I could have gotten instead of him.
Excuse me.
Well,
And there's still
that's
good
the-
tight ends available.
That's the debate we always have.
Yeah, it's how does your roster shake out when you take an early tight end? Can you make
Yeah.
up for it? You lack in depth later on. But I mean,
Yet players
You-
like Kittle
you
and
got a
Pitts can
positional
work as
advantage.
receivers.
Yeah, you have a positional advantage over the people who are taking fly. Like, because really the rest of the tight ends are you think like, oh, Mark Andrews is good, or Irv Smith will be good, or Noah Fant will be good, but really we say that every year.
So out of those three
Yeah.
teams, there'll probably be like one more with a stud tight end, and it'll be a guy that no one's talking about that they'll get later on.
Well, you definitely sniped me there, Pierre, for sure.
I knew I had to get him now. But yeah, it does seem like the receivers are definitely going faster in every draft we've done so far.
All right, I don't like taking this guy this early, but I think I have to. I need that third wide receiver. I know there's plenty of RBs coming back to me, so that third wide receiver now.
Hey Chris, while I got you on here, can you delete Clay? And
What's that?
I was just wondering if you could delete Clay, and that way I could look at the whatever you were on.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was coming up.
I'm gonna look at these new guys, see how their teams are shaking out.
I mean, I almost feel like I should take Josh Jacobs here, but I just can't. I don't like taking Josh Jacobs. Who's going to get more touches, Josh Jacobs or Myles Gaskin, assuming both are healthy?
It'll be good.
That's a good question.
Actually,
If
wait,
they
I
don't
can
sign
do
anybody else,
this.
Gaskin.
I'm just going to take Gaskin because I just don't like Josh Jacobs. I mean, nothing personal against Josh Jacobs. I just think he's so boring. He's just a high floor, no ceiling guy to me. So,
Hey, Tom's on here.
The 2 drafts in a row, you took DJ Moore, Pierre?
You noticed, huh? Look, as my wide receiver 3, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm okay with him
absolutely.
as my third
Yeah,
receiver.
I was still questioning why he was there. If he made it all the way back to, I no hesitation would have taken him.
at least you didn't take Josh Jacobs.
We'll see, Jay, if your boy makes it back to you.
I doubt it.
You know. We'll see. He might. Well, never mind.
The very next pick.
Yeah. Can't say anything
I'm
in
okay with
drafts.
not owning him everywhere, just for the record.
Okay.
I do love him, especially at his value in the 5th round, but I don't need to own him everywhere.
And talk about Matt Hill going 0 wide receiver.
Wow. And I will say, though, Mahomes at 5'5". I mean, dang.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Can't hate that.
The only thing is, by going 3 running backs to play them all, you have to put one in your flex.
Well, not only that, you have to start 3 wide receivers.
Exactly.
So it's like, even if your 3 running backs are good, your 3 running backs are probably going to be terrible. I mean, your 3 wide receivers are probably going to be terrible.
There's still some decent value there, but I mean, if say you get a guy like, I mean, I'm just trying to look at the list. DJ Chark as your one, which isn't bad, but I mean, compared to like AJ Brown and those upper echelon guys, it's going to be difficult week to week.
No, you get those guys who, like, sure, they could have nice weeks, but they could also do nothing. Like, okay, so I co-manage a team with a friend of mine. It's 2 QB, not even super flex. It's 2 QB. It's 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. And last year we had Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, and David Montgomery, and we lost in the first round because our receivers were Tyler Lockett, Darnell Mooney, and Mike Evans. But Mike Evans sucked in week 14. I don't know if you remember. He wasn't very good in week 14.
Yeah, no, I own him in my dynasty. He actually won me my league.
Yeah, well, yeah, because week 16 he was a beast. So all these people saying, like, oh, if you have the 3 stud running backs, it doesn't matter. It's like, no, because yeah, they give you those nice, safe, like 20, 15, 20-point floors, but they don't give you very many. And I know sometimes they do, but it's not very often they give you those 30, 40-point, like, week-winning games, right? That's more like what wide receivers do. Now, sure, wide receivers might not have the high floor, but when you have to start those, like, fringy wide receivers and they all bomb in the same week, you're dead. So
I do like what Arsenal 1-2-3 did. You got Mike Davis, and so his tight end disadvantage, I think, is fine because he's still going to get a decent, I think, wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of preference. I don't like Galladay, but I mean, that's just a matter of preference. If Galladay's good, then obviously yes. I mean, but yeah,
Yeah, getting like Deontay or Woods instead of Galladay, that would have been
Damn
cute,
it.
but still.
I
You
like
know, the guys are left.
Sniped on Jacobs, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can wait on the position.
Well, now you almost have to because now you get into that zone where it's like now you're just taking guys because it's like, well, see Judy in the 5th. Like I like Judy, but man, usually I get Pierre in the best ball drafts. I get Judy like in the 10th round or something, 9th round. It's crazy how sharp our drafts are.
I usually don't go early QB. We'll see how it shakes out, though. I'll
Hey,
go with the stack here.
there you go.
Not bad. Yeah, that one that we're in together on drafters, that's the one where I saw Najee Harris go 6 overall.
Oh man.
So it's a different crowd.
Yeah, very different. Very different. And that's the thing. All you guys drafting with us, you're gonna go play like in your home leagues or whatever, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, this guy's still available. Oh my god, I can get this guy."
Oh, I know.
Mhm.
You guys are gonna like this guy's still here.
Yeah, I do mock drafts all off season, and then I go into my my home league that's a redraft, and I'm getting guys that are going in the 3rd, 4th round and like the 7th round. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is just, it feels too easy.
right. This is to me is like the dead zone of the draft. That's why I don't even mind you going Kyler Murray there, Jordan, because it's like there's not a lot of guys here
BPA
that,
for me, really.
yeah, there's not a lot of guys here that like jump out to me like, oh, I got to draft this guy. So might as well take the upside as like a top 3 QB, top 2 QB.
I mean, I think he even has room for improvement. I think he could be the number 1 overall QB next season.
With that rushing floor of his, if he can stay healthy, I think he has a chance for number 1.
I mean, you bring in
Yeah,
AJ
he
Green,
was
a
number
guy
1
like,
until he got that injury and he wasn't running as much.
right. And he really wasn't even playing all that great. You know, there was a lot of games where, you know, he had room for improvement for sure. So, I mean, you take that into account. They bring in AJ Green. They bring in Rondell Moore through the draft.
No, he'll be good.
So, I mean, there's definitely room for improvement for him.
Well, see, that's the thing about the running quarterback. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is as good a thrower as Kyler Murray. I'm not saying he's not, but I'm not saying he is. But that's the thing about the running quarterbacks. Like Kyler Murray had some games last year where he threw for like 120 yards and 1 touchdown, and he put up like 30 fantasy points.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, and that's why I like Jalen Hurts so much, because he could have like 150 passing yards and no passing touchdowns and still give you 25 fantasy points because he rushes for 60, 70 yards and 2 scores. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, any competent quarterback with a rushing floor is almost guaranteed top 10 production week to week.
Yeah.
I went on auto because my computer's being slow.
No worries. You got Odell. Nothing wrong with that.
I actually wanted Odell, so I'm happy it auto drafted him for me.
You're about to get auto drafted, though. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, you're
No,
still
I'm on my
draft.
laptop.
Oh,
You
you
gotta
need
get
to
off auto draft somehow.
you need to go on your phone and select turn off auto pick.
You could do auto on your queue also if you're on your laptop. You can turn it off.
Yeah, that's true. You can queue up like who you want.
Or just
Oh,
queue up who you want and just
I just
stay on
noticed the
auto.
auto pick in the queue section.
Did you want Lamar Jackson, Stinger?
Can you go to wide receivers? Do DJ Chart.
Okay.
Good choice.
Well, now Matt's really hurting a wide receiver. That was like now you're really rolling the dice.
There's one I can see with some possible upside.
No, there's definitely lots of guys I like, but they all have like bust potential, right?
Yeah.
And nobody wanted your wide receiver one. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
you don't want to be again. Like Darnell Mooney had some nice games last year. Tyler Lockett had some really good games last year. Mike Evans had some really great games last year, but those are also guys who can have some really bad weeks.
I mean, even Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill almost lost me my championship by only getting 8 points.
Oh yeah, he was terrible that week.
It was like 10 points or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, anybody can have like a dud week, but for sure, anybody really, except David Montgomery.
In my eyes, yeah.
But that's
So
crazy. Isn't that crazy? He had Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, and David Montgomery and got bounced in the first round.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's a wide receiver that I can't believe is not off the board yet.
Did you face Alvin Kamara?
No, this is week 14. This is the first round.
What was the week that Alvin Kamara scored like 50-something points? I thought that was
That was
round
the
one.
playoffs.
That was week 16. That was championship week because I had Alvin Kamara. That's why I have this jersey right here. 56
okay.
points in the championship week. That's the receiver you're talking about, huh?
No. There's a receiver that's not been chosen.
Yeah.
No, what you get what I mean?
Better than Curtis Samuel? I that's blasphemy. That's blasphemy.
I think he could be.
Well,
I mean,
then you're looking at the other Carolina he's not you're looking at the other Carolina wide receiver, huh?
nope.
Then I have no idea. Then you're looking at the other 49er receiver? No, you don't like them.
I think I know who he's looking at.
I just don't want to say it because I'm waiting for somebody to pick him, and then
I mean, that's
Is he in the AFC?
let's see. Trying to see if I pulled up his stats. I need to just. Oh, there he is. Okay, there he is. Debo. Yeah, that's who I was thinking. I was like, why is Debo not been chosen?
that would. Yeah, I guess
I think he's better than Curtis Samuel for
more
sure.
than Robbie Anderson, just because. I don't know. It's close for me. They're all in like that. I definitely like Samuel way more than all those guys, though.
You like Curtis Samuel over Debo Samuel?
Yeah, he's the clear number 2 target on a team with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like,
So I waited on running back, and not one has gone yet.
I know. Look at that 6th round. Well,
That's insane.
Lamar in the 7th isn't bad.
I mean, I think I have to take this guy. I'm not like super high on him, but I think I have to take him here.
That's not bad.
I think I have 7th round Javonte Williams.
Hey, you got your third running back before me. Let's just mark that down. I don't
Well, that's
think
how it
I'm
should
gonna
be.
take one.
When you
Well, you did pick before me, but
I mean, I normally wouldn't go running back there, but I feel like that's Javonte in the 7th is worth the risk. It's worth the risk.
yeah. As far as Debo, and we were talking about this in the Discord. Bill was in on it, and
Yeah.
I was huge in on Debo before the draft, and
Hold on, Stinger.
And
did
now
you
I
want James
think-
Robinson. You're still on auto, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted James Robinson.
Okay, cool. Never mind. All right, go
yeah,
ahead.
you're still on auto. I was really big on Debo because he was so underdrafted, and he's not really climbing yet. But I just think that I like Ayuk better now. Like before, I actually liked Debo better than Ayuk, and now I think if Trey Lance is going to take over, because Debo Samuel, like most of his targets are actually at or behind the line of scrimmage. Like that's just the kind of receiver he is, or that's how they're going to use him. But I think they're going to try to change it up and spread it out more. I think that's why they got Trey Lance. I think that's why they got a running back in Sherman. They don't want to play as conservative. I think Shannon felt like he was kind of like hamstrung by what he had last year to work with. But also, if Kittle's there for the full season, like they won't have to throw it short to Debo so much because they have that target down the middle. You know what I mean? I think Debo was kind of just a safety net when he was playing. Plus,
Well,
of course, the injuries.
It's funny
You know,
how
you got
everybody
the
has
injury risk.
different. Like some people are like, oh, it's gonna be Ayuk. Some people are like, oh, Debo. Some people are like, none of them. It's pretty like It's a pretty
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, that's how I am. I'm out on all 49ers wide receivers unless it's Kittle. They're just such a run first team with like 6 different running backs now.
But the thing is, like I was thinking about it, I'm like, are they a run first team because they're a run first team, or are they a run first team because Kyle Shanahan did not trust
Didn't
Jimmy
have
G
a quarterback.
at all? Like,
It's
at all.
possible.
You know what I mean? Like because Kyle Shanahan, it's not like if you look at his whole career, he's been a run first guy. It's not like he's been a guy who runs the ball 50-60% of the time. Like go back in his Matt Ryan days. Matt Ryan, they weren't running the ball 50+% of the time. They were airing it out, right? They were airing it out. Even in the Super Bowl, when they were up 28-3, they were still airing it out. They were still throwing the ball. So are they a run first team, or did they just not trust Jimmy G? And I don't know.
I think it's team dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers clearly don't have a Julio Jones.
Well, that's yes, that's true.
Yeah, but I like Debo simply because one, in PPR, those little toss passes in the backfield, A, count as a catch, and
True.
B, he usually can take them to the house. So he's getting yardage, and those are planned targets, and they do that stuff. They've done that stuff for the last 2 years. So it's something that seems like it's baked into their game plans. And so I'm like, well, so I know he's going to get 5 to 10 targets. They're going to be, if I'm in a PPR league, that's even better. And he's the guy that does those. It's not like they go, oh, Brandon Ayuk can do this. Nope. He didn't do a single one. So I'm like, all right, he's going to have that safe of a floor. And then he could get the passing work, and he does catch some passes. That's where I choose Debo over Brandon Ayuk. And I don't care who the QB is at that point.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those situations like Kenny's on here saying Debo. It's one of those situations where it's like some people think it's Ayuk, some people think it's Debo, and some people like Jordan think which usually is I have very, very, I don't think I have any Ayuk because he goes in like the 4th round now. And I have very little Debo because I'm usually taking other guys instead of them. So yeah, I'm more towards Jordan in the sense that I'm just more like passing most of the time.
So this is how I look at it, right? So you figure if they throw on average, say 24 passes a game, and Kittle's getting 12 of those targets. If you split up the rest between just those 2 guys, they're each getting 6 targets each?
Well, first of all, they're going to throw more than 24 because the Ravens were last in the league last year with 25, and they were by far last. So they're going to throw more than 24, maybe like 30, maybe like 28 to 30. And 12 targets for Kittle. I mean, if Kittle's getting 12 targets, he's going to destroy even Kelsey. He'll be the no doubt about it tight end 1, but maybe like 8. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like he's going to get the bulk of them for sure. He's going to be the number 1 target guy. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Definitely.
I think the hope, if you're like going for Debo and Ayuk, is that with Trey Lance, they open up the game plan and they throw 30+ times a game. That's the hope.
I'm pretty sure. Did Stinger want Watson?
I guess. I think he has his Q. Stinger, you have your Q.
No, I
set up?
wanted Aaron Rodgers. As soon as I was getting on, it selected Deshaun Watson.
I was like,
Yeah, I'm too didn't want Watson.
Hey man,
Not
you
that
never know.
early.
Maybe Stinger has some intel like Deshaun Watson's gonna start week 1.
I thought I heard some news that they were
Another
planning on
team.
wrapping the case up soon.
You know what?
Denver.
Okay, I've actually drafted him sometimes like around the 110, 120 range as my QB3. Deshaun Watson I'm talking about in best ball. I'd feel really, really good about it if I feel pretty confident that he's not going to get suspended. Like this thing's going to, since it was so early in the offseason, this thing's going to disappear and no one's going to care about it. And Goodell is just going to pretend like it didn't happen and hope nobody says anything. But I just still worry that he will refuse to play for the Texans. That's actually my worry right now. It's not a suspension. It's that he'll say like, no, I'm not playing for the Texans, and he'll sit there and not play. He'll hold out. So
I think the Texans are a bad enough franchise that they'll finally be like, oh well, we might as well deal him for something, and then they'll get like a 3rd round draft pick for him. Like I feel like that's what they'll do, because then they're just gonna throw their hands up and say, well, we tried. I don't know.
man,
They're just
if they do that, oh my god, it'd be so bad.
Yeah, because they lost their leverage. If they were gonna trade him, it should have been way back before all this, and they could have gotten a haul, but of course, then they did this instead. So
Yeah, and I think everyone's either shored up or decided, hey, we like who we have and we're going to test them out, and then if we don't like them, we'll go at the end of the next year, or we're going to draft somebody, or we already have our guy, and you guys can just go on somewhere. So I feel like where they could have got like 3 first rounders and a decent player before the draft. Now I feel like the most they'll get is maybe 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Every they got their guys at quarterback pretty much, and the only team that maybe I could see doing it is Denver, because, Bridgewater is just kind of like a stopgap. And if they make a deal and say, hey, we'll give you first rounder plus Drew Lock, we'll throw in Drew Lock. Will you want him? And the Texans will be like, yeah, that'll work. Like, I could see that happening.
All right, I guess.
I was so surprised Carolina is paying more than half of his salary. Like when I saw that, I was like, geez.
Well, it's like a Carson Wentz to the Colts situation. The Eagles still have to pay a huge chunk of that.
Yeah, but I feel like they did that because they were getting just bad press from the situation in general. So they just wanted him gone just in general. Like there was nothing wrong, I think, with Teddy at Carolina, even with like Sam Darnold there, and stuff like that. So I felt like they could either let him go, or like I feel like paying $7 million of his salary wasn't much of a, because if they just cut him, was it 10? So the 3 million that big of a difference? I would have just kept him. And
I would say maybe this year, because of the lower salary caps, it might have played a part in it. But it might have also been one of those things where they didn't want to have a training camp battle. They just wanted to have a surefire guy. They didn't want to have a situation where it's, do I play this guy? Do I play this guy? They're both kind of on the same type of level in their eyes. And I just feel like they didn't want to have that competition, which I don't agree with, because I believe competition makes everyone better.
All right, I don't know why.
It should. I mean, if he needs that, if Darnold needs that for his confidence, it's like, oh, I need to be told I'm the guy going in. I mean, that's then that's other there. He's not the guy. If that's what happened.
I don't know why it sent me to auto, even though I picked.
Yeah, I saw you pick. You were good. I was about to say, Mostert.
Is that who you wanted? You got Mostert?
Yeah, I wanted Mostert.
I wanted Mostert, but okay.
I'm not super high on Mostert, but I'll take him in the 9th.
Yeah,
take a chance.
Man, I was about to say Alzen took Hurst, and I was like, yeah. But then he followed up with Mark Andrews, and I was like, all right, I guess I can live with that. And I know you guys are down on him after watching your video. Was it today? QBs and tight ends.
It's gonna be tough.
I'm surprised you guys are down on Andrews. I think he will get less targets, but I think with that, they'll still get into the end zone, and I think he's just their big end zone threat.
Well, he is. Like I said in the video, he's going to be very touchdown dependent. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Which a lot of tight ends are. But
yeah, that's the thing. He just kind of falls into that second tier with all the other tight ends, right? He doesn't stand out like as a big 3 kind of guy anymore, or big 4.
I think he's in a tier above. So it's like the main 3, and then I would put like Mark Andrews, Pitts, and I think that's it for right now. No, I'd put Hawkinson in there at the bottom. And so there's that tier, and then there's everybody else.
See, my problem with I know that's how most people think. My problem with Andrews in that tier is Pitt's probably going to get a decent amount of targets. Hawkinson definitely going to get a decent amount of targets. Andrews not. So
yeah, but where Andrews doesn't have the targets, he has the touchdown upside. Like I don't like Hawkinson.
How many touchdowns did he have last year?
How many? I don't know, but you can see it better than I can, can't you?
I think he didn't even have that many touchdowns last year, did he? Maybe I'm wrong. But even still, like I guess the difference to me is like I feel like Hawkinson and so he had 7 last year, 10 the year before.
5, 6, 7, yeah.
So I feel like Hawkinson and Pitts may not score as many touchdowns, although I feel like Hawkinson had at least that many touchdowns last year.
I'm actually in it right now.
They'll have more receptions and yards. They'll give you more week to week. Like
4, 5, 6. Hawkinson only had
top
6.
5 last year.
What's that?
Wasn't
Hawkinson
Hawkinson
and,
top
and
five
Andrews
tight
almost had
end
the
last
same
year?
production.
Hawkinson was number 3 last year, wasn't he?
Two.
Because Kittle was.
Hawkinson and Mark Andrews put up almost the same yardage and touchdowns last year, almost the same. But here's the difference: is with Hawkinson, whether you're up or down him, he's going from Stafford to Goff, but also going from Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones
Well,
to
not Kenny Galladay,
but
yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Well, technically,
I mean,
but
Galladay played like
Amon-Ra
2
St.
years.
Brown and Tyrell Williams and Brashad Perriman. So who's going to get the most targets in that offense? It's probably going to be Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift, of course.
I feel like we're still treating Andrews like we did after year 1 when he had that like really great season. And maybe he will. Maybe Bateman and Tylan Wallace and Sammy Watkins will all be terrible, and he'll have to be the guy again. But I do worry that, like, if he only catches, I mean, he only caught like 50 whatever passes last year. So if that drops even more, if that drops down into the 40s, it's going to be tough.
I don't like this pick, but
Well, you're in round 9.
I need.
Ooh, I think it's the first time we've seen him drafted in a while in one of our drafts.
Yeah,
I think he could have some value. They didn't draft a
Usually
running
Moss would
back
hit him.
that I know of, right? I don't think they took one, at least in the first few rounds. So I mean, they apparently are okay with him and Zach Moss.
Wait,
And
how many targets did you just say Mark Andrews got?
Targets? I don't know how many targets. He had like 50-something receptions. I don't know how many targets. What did he have? 80
sorry.
targets?
For receptions, he had, hold on, 10.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. 58 catches, 701 yards, 7 touchdowns.
88 targets for Andrews.
Yeah.
101 targets for Hawkinson.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I was looking at
I think
Penny and
Hawkinson-
Moore there with my 2 picks, and they both went right before me.
No receptions. Okay, there it is.
Between Hawkinson, Andrews, the one I'm going to take is the one who falls farther. Because I don't see there's a big.
I'm just honestly
Not a
not
big
taking
difference.
either because look, in our drafts you can get Hawkinson in the 7th and in the 8th, but in real drafts you can't get Hawkinson in the 7th and the 8th. Those guys go way sooner than that. I say real drafts, I'm talking like public drafts. Like,
Non-endgame drafts.
Yeah. So you got to draft. It's like, do I take Cooper Kupp or TJ Hawkinson? Well, I'm taking Cooper Kupp 1,000 times out of 1,000.
You guys could be super savvy drafters and listen to Problem and take Logan Thomas in the very last round. It could be better than all of them.
Well, that's almost the thing to do. To me, it's like once the big 3 go off, I mean, unless Noah Fant falls to me, I'll just wait and grab. I mean, I don't care. I'll roll into the season with whoever and whatever stream tight ends. I mean, I hate streaming tight ends. It's tough. It sucks. It's not fun, but
There's always somebody who comes out of nowhere like Tunyon. You know what I mean?
Did
There's
Sleeper
always.
give me Sterling Shepard? Because my thing's being
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, it
weird
did.
again.
Yes, you got Sterling Shepard. Like here, like once I miss Jalen Hurts, I'll just wait on quarterback. It's fine.
Especially in a 1 QB league, and this is 4-point passing, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So, I mean, it really doesn't matter.
By the way, who is open to our dynasty league being not having a tight end and instead having an extra flex where you can play a tight end? Anybody? So
I wouldn't mind that. That's interesting.
Instead of requiring the tight end, like, so if you have an awesome tight end, you can start him, but if you don't have to like sit there and start, CJ Uzuma and his 2 points or whatever.
Hope Irv Smith's gonna do something this year.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, we did
I
that
don't know how
last
I
year. We
feel
did a
about
league
it.
like that.
Like I've it's funny. I saw a guy. Do you follow Rich Reber, Pierre? You follow him? His is Zach Morris icon. It's funny because, how long have I been saying get rid of the tight end position in fantasy football? Like years, right? Years. And I just saw him having a discussion today where he's like, where somebody was talking about like instead of tight end premium, you should do 2 tight ends. And then he commented, no, you should just get rid of the position because even 2 tight end, it just forces you to start really bad players. Like there's not like in a 12-team league.
2 tight ends sounds terrible.
Yeah, there's not 24 startable tight ends.
That's
That
ridiculous.
sounds disgusting.
But lots of leagues do it. Lots of dynasty leagues do 2 tight ends because that's how they think, oh, make tight end more valuable. It's like, no, now you're just having to start, like I said, like, yeah, you got to start like CJ Uzuma and whoever else is your 2 tight ends and hope one of them scores a touchdown or something.
If you want to make tight ends valuable, just make it a tight end premium and give them an extra like half point or full point per reception.
But even that doesn't, when you really look at it, it doesn't, it helps, but still doesn't, like, it helps. It helps the elite
But
guys.
not enough.
I was just about to say, it's like another case of the rich get richer.
Yeah, but the guys who only catch, the tight ends who only catch, like, oh wait, oh dang it, I just autoed.
It just auto and give you Todd Gurley.
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, there goes your guy.
Well, I'll let him. He's new here. I'll take this guy instead. It's fine. Took my guy, but it's all right.
Why he was trying to get that pick in before you moved it. He was like,
My bad. Hey, that's all right. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah, but 2 tight ends, it's like in baseball where they do 2 catcher leagues. Like that's just like you're trying to punish people for being in the league. Like what's the point?
Yeah, no,
like you're taking
you.
the worst position and saying, okay, now try even harder to find somebody who might, be worth playing. Like I don't get it. But,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
There's
another nice thing about, especially like in a dynasty,
actually,
if you have the extra flex, like what if you have like a really good running back group or a really good wide receiver group, and then you get punished every week because you have to start some crappy tight end and bench your really good running back because you can only start, you know what I mean? Like if you're in a 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league, and let's say you have like 4 really good running backs and then a crappy tight end, it's like, too bad. You got to bench one of your really good running backs and play your crappy tight end. And it's like you get punished. You know what I mean? It's not right.
Yeah, I definitely would not be a fan of that.
So
I might actually bring that up to my league that I commissioned, my home league, my dynasty league, if they want to. It's kind of hard though, because we're 3 years deep into a dynasty. People have made trades for tight ends where they probably wouldn't have in the past. So it's kind of hard to be like, hey, you want to just throw away the tight end position now?
yeah, no, it's tough if you're in a
you
league
can't
that's
do
been around for, and change is always hard for people.
No, the change needs to be made is get rid of kickers. Like they just don't belong.
Oh yeah, no, we haven't played with kickers in probably like a decade.
Okay, dynasty leagues that play with kickers and DSTs are the absolute worst. I don't know how, like, really? Like,
yeah, my friend invited me to an ESPN league last year, and they had terrible defensive scoring and kickers, and I was like, I honestly gave up halfway through because I lost like 2 or 3 matchups to kicker points, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
well, especially in a dynasty league, because it's like everybody, everybody has their defenses on their roster, and that's it. So you can't go like pick up a defense that has a good matchup like you can in like a redraft league. And so if your defenses all suck, you're like, well, I have these crappy defenses. I can't do anything about it. Like there's nothing I can do about it. I can't go draft a new defense in the rookie draft. I can't go pick one up off of waivers. It makes no sense to have DSTs in Dynasty. It makes no sense.
No, it should be IDP or nothing.
Yes. If you want to do defense, you do IDP. You don't do – man, I don't know who this Jadon guy is, but Elijah Moore and Darnell Mooney at 10-11, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
This one's for my boy Dahutski if he's watching.
I will say,
wow. I thought it was going to be Damian Harris.
Oh, no, he went a long time ago.
Did he really?
I got Damian
Yeah.
Harris.
Of course.
I got him.
Of course.
And then
Damian Harris and his 5 catches.
got to go with my staple.
there you go.
There you go.
I will say, so Matt Hill's on auto, but he wasn't. I will say he definitely decided right after Patrick Mahomes to attack the wide receiver position.
Look, that's what you got to do. See, that's that
Yeah.
people who do 0 RB and they don't understand, like, you can't draft like 4 or 5 wide receivers and a QB or something, and then take a running back or 2, and then go draft another couple of wide receivers, and then take a running back, and then go, why do my running backs all suck? It's like, well, because you didn't draft any. It's like, you got to just, like him, like Matt, you got to be like, you know what? I'm just going to have to like throw as much crap at the wall as I can and hope hope a few of them stick, right?
Yeah, I would.
Like,
So, no,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I do like that he did that. I would have taken maybe one or two rookies to see if they're like boom bust potential. But I mean, he is doing the right thing there. So
Yeah. I mean, the only pick I don't like is Marquise Brown because,
yeah, that's
but whatever. Mims could be good. Parker's good. Landry's always, he does need
Mims
some,
could be
he
a
does
great
need
pick
some-
there in the 11th as well.
What's that?
I was just saying Denzel Mims as well in the 11th
Yeah.
round could be a great pick for him.
Oh, for sure. Stinger with the Tim Tebow pick. There we go. There we go. I guess I like this guy the best of. Oh, somebody took Stafford already? Okay, maybe do I like? I'll just go,
11-8 took Stafford.
I'll just go Brady, whatever. Doesn't matter.
No Deshaun Watson?
And Brady is the last QB off the board. No big deal.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like if I don't get hurt, it's like fine. I'll wait and take I'm fine with Stafford, Brady, Ryan, Burrow.
The thing is, these drafts, like there's no point taking a quarterback or a tight end early. You can get Logan Thomas as your starter in the last round, and Tom Brady as your starter in the last round. Why, what's the deal? But all right, CCM finishing it out strong. Are we doing grades or what?
Well, I don't know. Bill's not here. Anybody else want to grade?
I mean, I will if you want me to, but
Jeremy, the impartial observer. So
go for it, Jeremy.
if
Jeremy,
you
step
can
up, do it.
the honors.
New grader.
all right. So I'll go front to back. So CCM, McCaffrey, Dobbins, Thomas, Ayuk. I'm not big.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got Hunt. Would have liked to seen a receiver in there, but he did get Fuller, Cook, and then Beasley at the end. Robert Tunyon, Lamar is great value. I think it's a 7.5. Yeah. Yeah, 7.5 for sure. I think he's definitely got the running back depth. I'm a little worried on his wide receivers, and that's really my only question there. So we'll move to Chris. Let's see, Cook, Allen, McLaurin. Claypool has risen in your rankings. I don't know why.
No, he hasn't. But look who's left. Am I going to take him over Ayuk, DJ Moore, Odell, Judy? No. I mean, are we going to take those guys over Claypool? No, I'm not.
I guess.
Like look at the draft. I used to get Deontay Johnson and Cooper Kupp on the same team. Now they're going. You know what I mean? Like look at the draft. It was more of a matter of like if I don't take Claypool here, I'm really not going to like my wide receiver 3.
Yeah, and then you grab Debo and you got Rager, and so I feel like between those three, you can switch them out. Running back, you took Williams for upside. You got Mostert, who I do like, and then Naeem Hines, Ito Smith, Brady. Yeah, I like this better than I like his, so I'm going to give you an 8 for right now.
I'll take it. Tough in these.
Barkley, Swift, Robinson, Sutton, DJ Moore, Tyler Boyd, Dak, and 7 isn't bad. Goddard, not big on. Harris, Jones. So my biggest deal here is the Sutton, Moore, and Tyler Boyd, and Marvin Jones. One of the between those two, you're filling in 2 wide receivers because it's a 3 wide receiver league. It's going to be sketchy. But I still think your running backs are solid. I feel like between Barkley and Swift, I don't know if you're going to have much to worry about. You do have upside in Harris and Johnson. Yeah, your wide receivers just scare me. So I'm going to give you a 7, Pierre.
That's interesting. I thought you'd say the running backs were more sketchy because I waited so long after Swift.
No,
Swift is make or break.
No, I feel like between Barkley and Swift, it's 1.5 and 1.12. So I feel like between that, you could have waited till your last 3 picks to pick a running back, and I think you're fine. And I feel like with the last 3 picks, you're likely to hit on somebody, and that's all you need really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just between Sutton. Like, I don't like Sutton that much. I'm not big on Moore and Boyd. Like, they're all in really weird situations, and Jones is up there with them too. Like, they're all in some weird situations. I do feel like one will come out, but you need two of them to come out because of the three wide receiver league. Where I like where Brad, who's next, he took three wide receivers, Jefferson, Evans, and Thielen. And I like Thielen because he's safe. Evans is really good on touchdowns, and Jefferson I feel like will be his big play person. And then he has Samuel who can on Washington who can fill in. I do like the David Montgomery in the 5th round. I think he's a great number 2. And then he followed it up with Ronald Jones, who will fill in a little bit. The Madison pick, we saw Madison fail last year as Cook's backup. So I don't know what his role is or why people are drafting him. That's just my point. He's a great hand. He's not even a great handcuff. Simply because he didn't do that well when Cook was out. So I don't know his value or why people draft him. That's just me. But overall,
if you're not the Cook owner, there's no point taking him if you're not the Cook owner at this point.
Yeah, and
as a Cook owner, I still wouldn't even take him.
And that's how I feel. But Brad, I'll give him an 8 because I feel like he's questionable at running back, but he's got 2 solids and at least 1 for a backup, and he'll probably drop Madison and pick someone up.
For his first time here, I actually really like his draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would just say that I wanted Curtis Samuel instead of the Tyler Boyd pick. Jeremy, I know you didn't like Tyler Boyd. I wanted either Chark, who I didn't think would fall, or Curtis Samuel, and he got taken right before me. So that was a smart.
So I think Cortland Sutton will be really good too. So I think you have 2 studs. Even DJ Moore as a 3rd wide receiver isn't bad. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave him an 8, right? So Matt Hill, I definitely like what he did going 0 wide receiver. I think if you're going to do it, he said, I'm just going to focus on running backs. I got one of the top 3 tight ends. He took the best QB off the board. And then I think he took who he liked or who he thought would excel. My only question out of all the ones he chose is the Malcolm Brown. I'm not high on, but if you're going to do it this way, this is the way you want to do it. At the end, I might have taken a rookie, but he just decided to go with those people he likes more, which I'm completely fine with. So I actually like this team, so I'm going to give him a 7.5. I think he can swap in and choose matchups between the receivers and just kind of play that game. It will be a little tough for him, and it's definitely going to be match dependent. So, but I do like it.
The thing with Matt's team is he potentially could have the number 1 player at 3 different positions.
Yeah.
At running back, tight end, and quarterback.
And he's even got insurance in case one of his running backs are facing a really bad matchup or go down. He still has, I'm not big on Sanders, but he at least still has a backup that's at least decent. So I definitely like that. Stinger went Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Kittle. Did follow it up with, I think, 3 decent receivers with Lockett. Beckham is the only is more questionable than I think him and DJ Shark, just because I don't know what the Browns really want to do with him or if they really want to use him. Like, they're going to use him if they have him. I'm not saying that. I just don't know what his role is going to be in that wide receiver core. He definitely took Shepard and Lazard at the end. I think those guys they're boom or bust. Aaron Rodgers in the 8th. He will play somewhere. I don't think he's sitting out this year, especially with the reports. James Robinson as his 3rd, and Wilson. He's got depth there. The Tim Tebow pick, as a Jags fan, it doesn't even impress me at all.
I was just going for a fun pick there.
Yeah. But I do definitely like it. He's definitely the center of attention right now. I do like this. Let's see. I want to be critical, but I do like it. I'm gonna give you a 7, Stinger. Tom, this is the guy I drafted, so I'm only gonna judge him from Josh Allen down because I did the first 4. So Josh Allen at the 5 isn't bad as the 2nd. Waddle. He definitely took all the rookies. This pretty much see
Yeah.
if they hit or not.
Wow.
I don't mind
This
it.
is all rookie team.
And he's got enough. He's got enough of each of them to not affect his draft, and he's got number ones at the position as well. I actually like this a lot. I'm going to give him an 8 and 8.5, and that's not even for the first 4 picks. The first 4 picks just give him the leeway to do what he did at the end, which is, I mean, good. He saw what I did and he built off of that, which I think is good. Arsenal, he went Taylor, Kelsey, Lamb, Galladay, Mike Davis, Juju, and then Pittman. I actually ended up really liking this team. Even going with Kelsey in the second round, we always say tight ends are hard to bounce back from. I think he bounced back great with the wide receivers that he did get. He got Matt Stafford for his QB at the end. So yeah, I really do like this. I think I give him an 8. I think he beats out even like Chris's team, simply because I think one of his wide receivers could bump him over that. So like that's why I'm a little less on that. Just so you guys can guess how I'm grading, I guess.
Juju over Claypool in your is that what you were saying?
What do you? No. So I'm saying because he has the advantage at the tight end position. I'm saying Juju or Pittman or more, I think will be one of those 3 will be a decent thing. And that's where I think he'll beat Chris out. Like if they were stuck like fighting for a playoff spot, I would pick Arsenal over Chris.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Just because I feel like one of his wide receivers will go off. Now, that's just what I'm seeing right now. Like, obviously, you don't win your league at the draft. But if I were to go right now and those 2 are fighting for a playoff spot, I would put my money on Arsenal. Yep. Buster Boom, Cam Akers, DK Metcalf, Najee Harris, Woods, Pitts. I can tell Bill would really love this team. T. Higgins, Russell Wilson, Davis, Brown. Yeah. I'm gonna go 7-5. Like I feel like this team could be really good or really bad. The Najee Harris pick is the one I'm a little concerned about.
That's like the
And then he
latest
only picked up
Najee go,
Kenyon
right?
Drake as a backup.
I don't
What were you
think-
saying, Chris?
I think that's the latest we've seen Najee go since the draft, at least.
Yeah, and I still wouldn't take him there.
Yeah.
Personally.
Usually he goes like early 3rd.
Yeah, I guess the other big thing with this is that he only took Kenyon Drake as a backup. So that's the other reason I kind of knocked him a point or so, because I would really like this team if he had one more running back. Not because it's going to win him the league. It just gives him some insurance in case Najee gets beat up or gets hurt, or not even that. Just if he busts as well, that he has someone that it can fill in. Is this the next guy? Is it Alzen? That's how I say it, but
Ale season.
Ale. We just call him Ale.
Ale. Yeah, okay. Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, Cooper, Deontay Johnson, ETN, Smith, Hurst, Andrews, Penny. I think it's a well-rounded team. And then he took rookies at the end at wide receiver. Problem here is with his. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. My only big issue here is his second running back. I don't know. I think ETN gets some work. Penny might get some, but has the injury issue. Dylan will get some, but it's pretty much the Aaron Jones show. So if he gets hurt, I think there's question marks with his RB2 on each one of them. Like I don't know between those 3 if any one makes it out. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7.
Just say for that point in the draft, those running backs are actually 2 of my favorites. I love getting those guys. Penny could be like the 1B to Carson's 1A. Carson always gets hurt. And Dylan, he's fallen now. Everyone's forgetting about him because Aaron Jones stayed, but Jamal Williams is gone. And Dylan, he could be surprisingly like he could ascend to starting status if Jaron Jones gets banged up. So I like those running backs as far as that picks. Like I like those a lot better than someone like Jeff Wilson who might get cut, or any of the Bills running backs or Madison or somebody like that.
So my only big thing with Dylan is I don't know if he'll get the touchdown work, which is where I would really like if he were to get the touchdown work. I think I would like him a lot more. But I think when they're going and they're that close, they're going to be look. We can put in the one guy who they'll know that we're trying to run it in with, or we can go with Aaron Jones who could run it in, or we can throw it to him. So I feel like that's where I am with that. I think they'll use Dylan to bluff the run pretty much. Like they'll put him in and he'll either run it or he won't, and just be guarding the running back, the QB. Sorry. But yeah, I just wish he would have took a better replacement at running back. I don't know who though or when. So I guess I don't have an answer for that, but it's still a question there that I think he's gonna have to fix later. This guy's new, right? Jaden 1432.
I think, yeah.
So he went Diggs, Brown, Mixon, Godwin, Jacobs, Chase, Hawkinson, Connor, Lawrence, Moore, Mooney. Yeah, I really like this team. He's got depth at running back. Even like we give Moss and Singletary crud, but one of them's going to have to run and do some stuff. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be great, and I think he could only average 5 points a game, but he could, make a big step forward. It was Moss's rookie year was last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he could take a step forward. He definitely has the depth there. I do like his wide receivers. His running backs, like Mixon, will definitely get the work. Jacobs will get some. I do like Chase. I think he will get some work. Between Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. I think we don't know who they're going to go for, but if you can get any of them in the 6, I think one of them will pay off on their value in the 6th round. So I don't mind either 3 of them going in that 6th round. I'm going to give him.
I think he has the best team to me personally. I'm not super high on Chase.
Yeah.
But whatever. But I think his team, I think he has the best team.
Yeah, I was going to give him like an 8 or an 8.5. Just because I do like it, and I think he did hit well and got value when he needed to. So, and then Jay's got Adam, Hopkins, Jones, Edwards, Judy, Murray, Gordon, Fournette, Singletary, Bateman, Myers, and then Logan Thomas. Let's see here. Your wide receivers are great. There's no doubt about that.
I love being able to get Adams at the 12 now. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's killer value. Running backs, Gordon, Fournette, Edwards is going to be a solid. Yeah, my only big question with you is your running backs, but I mean,
well, that's why I took a shot on those guys later
Yeah.
on. Gordon, Fournette, Singletary. Hopefully, one of them. The nice thing is you only have to start 2. So if one of those 3 on any given week can give me 15 points, I'm satisfied with the wide receivers I have. That was my approach.
Honestly, I loved your draft up until, I mean, Fournette's okay. Wouldn't be my choice, but he's okay. I loved your draft up until Singletary. I'll say that.
Yeah, that and I think that's where I am.
Like I was looking at your draft, I'm like, yeah, damn, Jordan's killing us. And then, but I mean, whatever. I mean, Logan Thomas is fine, of course. Maybe it's just a Singletary, Bateman. I mean, Myers, whatever. But I thought
I was just taking shots on different guys later on. I mean, those later on picks are usually, your waiver wire swap outs.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to think and figure out. I agree. I do like it. So I'm gonna give you a 7.5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I kind of did what Bill did though. I'm writing them down. I'm like, oh, this. Now I get what Bill means. It's hard to like go below 6 and go above 9. And it is hard because I feel like these were all at least decent drafts. Like I'd love to see what happened during the season, like throughout. So like kind of like best ball. I would love to see these kind of just go, see what happened through the year, and see who ended up just by drafting. But you would also have to play more rounds, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. We could by week 3 or 4 we can pull up one of these drafts and just look at it and be like, oh my god, can you believe? Oh my god, look where this guy went. Oh my god, can you believe that? Right? Because this is how quick things change in football, like this quick, right? Like that quick. So
yeah,
even by August, some of these guys are gonna like this is gonna change by August for sure.
Oh yeah, all it takes one injury, and the domino effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
It'll be interesting to go back and look at these and be like, why did we take this person here? Or why were we so low?
That's the thing. Like, that's why, like, I don't like I say about Jordan Travel, I didn't like his pick, but it doesn't mean that he's wrong. I'm wrong all the time when it comes to player evaluation. Like, player evaluation is the hardest part of this.
Well, the thing once I got to like the 8th, 9th round is I'm just taking shots at that point. You know what I mean? Any guy could flop, any guy could boom, any guy could bust.
No,
so once
for
you get
sure.
you got to think of like what Bill was trying to vocalize is like when you draft backwards from like that 7th round to like the 4th round, because you pretty much know the top 36. You may not get who you want, but you're going to get 3 of the top 36 guys, right?
Yeah.
So those first like 6 or 7 picks are the staple of your team. Those are your day in, day out starters every week. After that, it's like, okay, these are just kind of either replacement guys, depth guys, or waiver wire fodder.
Yeah, and I see exactly what you mean, Jen. I feel the same way. So I'd say like an example of your team, why I love and hate like 2 picks you made back to back, because at that point, you know, there's no point playing it safe, right? And you like 8th, 9th, 10th round, because that's not going to do anything for you, right?
Right.
So because chances are you'll get a guy, if he doesn't do anything, you can pick up somebody on the waiver wire who's going to replace that guy anyways, you know? So like Fournette, like, well, okay, you know, he kind of disappointed last year, but you know what, if Ronald Jones gets hurt, what if he's out for the season? You have the RB1 on Tampa Bay's, you know, freaking offense. That's going to be super valuable, right? And he has touchdown upside anyways. And then the thing with Devin Singletary, like, okay, what if Zach Moss gets hurt? Like, it really doesn't matter, right? They don't run the ball. They're like one of the least, you know, efficient running teams. They don't want to run the ball.
Yeah.
So like to me, that pick is almost there. I'd rather take Kenneth Gainwell or somebody who does have that upside. You know, what if Miles Sanders gets hurt? Well, then you got the RB1 who we don't know what he can do, but he could be, you know, a guy who is super valuable later on. And then the opposite with like Madison and Hubbard, like the pure handcuffs. There's zero reason to draft those guys unless they're your last pick and you have CMC or Dalvin Cook, you know, and you just want the insurance. But there's zero value in drafting those guys.
So. No, I agree with that. My only counterpoint to Singletary is I get all the points about Buffalo. They're being terrible. Josh Allen runs the ball a million times. Singletary does bring PPR value. That's the one thing I can say is he does catch passes. And maybe they rely on him a little bit more this year. Like I'm not high, even when I picked him, I said I don't like this pick.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you did.
Basically going into the 10th round turn to get like what is the last starting running back left other than maybe David Johnson? I didn't think was terrible, but I agree with what you're saying.
I just picked David Johnson. Desperate.
And I don't like David Johnson either.
The thing I was trying to say is like this just illustrates a point right here. Like even if I don't know if you guys are on the YouTube, but you can see in the chat, some people are like, oh, I don't like that pick. I like this pick. I like that guy. I don't like this guy. And it just shows that obviously player value. I mean, sure, there's a skill to player evaluation to trying to figure these things out, but we're going to be wrong plenty, right? We're going to be wrong. So it's more about like, I guess like Pierre say, like shooting for the upside or, you know, the way your roster is panning out. It's more about like the process, I guess, is what I'm trying to say than because some people are going to like, oh, Mostert in the 9th, that's great value. Some people are going to be like, you're an idiot. Like Mostert's not going to do anything this year. And some people are going to be right. Some people are going to be wrong. And we're going to find out, you know what I mean?
And
But
to
it's
be
the
frank, I wanted Rashad Penny there instead of Singletary, but Ale sniped me. I just want to
Yeah.
throw that out there. I was
But again-
targeting Penny.
No, but again, I like Penny. I think Penny could have a solid role. I think Penny could have a big role if Chris Carson goes down. But also, Penny might do nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, he could get injured again, tears ACL, and then you don't see him all year.
Yeah. So it's more about the process. Like, so as long as like the person, as long as you're picking a person and you know why you're picking the person, then I might not like that person. I might not like that player. I might be like, oh, I don't like him. But if you say, well, here's why I picked him, it's like, okay, then I can't really fault you for that.
Yeah. And were you guys understanding why like I would choose Arsenal's team over Chris's if they were playing for a playoff spot? Like, did y'all understand that? Like, I feel like
You
they're running
said
back.
because it's Kelsey, right?
Yeah, see, it's because he has Kelsey and he drafted enough wide receivers that I think that when it comes to that third wide receiver, where Chris would have had the edge, I think he'll have someone to fill in that will be just as good as Claypool, if not better. So like I'm like, all right, well, as far as wide receivers, I was like, I'm giving Chris a little edge, but in tight end, I feel like that's a bigger edge than he does.
I just don't know personally if the Kelsey to Irv Smith discrepancy is as big as like Cook over Taylor, his 3 wide receivers over Arsenal's 3 wide receivers. Like I think Chris's core is vastly greater than Arsenal's, so I don't think the gap from Kelsey to Smith makes up for that. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, I think
Well,
if the
I
receiver
can
was somebody
tell you-
besides Galladay, that might have helped.
I can tell you, as somebody who had Kelsey last year, the gap between Kelsey and Smith is pretty huge.
Oh yeah, 100%. But
there was a
Cook to
lot of weeks.
Taylor, Keenan Allen to CeeDee Lamb. That's probably. I mean, I like Cook over Taylor by a lot, but CeeDee Lamb to Keenan Allen probably a wash. McLaurin to Galladay, McLaurin by far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Claypool to Juju, Claypool by far. Gaskin to Mike Davis,
Wait. Did you just say Claypool's better than who?
Juju. For sure.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know what it is. But I think Juju has the potential to be that. Pittman could be a number 1, although we haven't seen it. And then Moore's the only thing that concerns me is Moore's the like 6 foot guy, right? Or not even.
No, he's like 5'7".
Yeah, he's
Rondell
like-
Moore. It's like he's like 5'8", 5'7".
Yeah. That's the only thing that scares me. But he is a rookie that could.
Him and Kyler Murray will get along great now. They can bond.
We're the short guys.
They can race.
The funny thing is Kyler Murray, what is he, 5'10"?
Yeah.
But it's so funny when he's out there, like his helmet, he looks like a little kid. Like when you see little kids playing Pop Warner and their helmet's like bigger, like it's bigger than they are. That's how Kyler Murray always looks to me. I'm like, what the hell?
It's like the one video of that girl who played football and she's like juking out all of the boys
Yeah.
in Pop Warner.
Yeah.
I didn't think the thing about our drafts now, it used to be like there'd be 2 or 3 teams where I'm like, okay, those teams like destroyed everybody in this draft.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I mean, I like Jadon's draft and I like Jordan's draft, but like there's no team that I look at right now and I'm like, okay, that team is way better than every other team. These drafts are so tough. These drafts are so tough now.
And it's like, who's going to squeak out the win? What's the big decision? And so, like, I'm like, it's got to be. So a little bit of this for me is just like, it depends on depth. Like, in case someone, I would love to go into a season and say no one's going to get hurt, but that's not realistic. Someone's going to get hurt. So you kind of, and so I guess depth played a little bit into my rankings for who would win, because they're not going to have to fight the waiver wire for somebody. They have someone that they at least believed in or thought would be a number 2. And so now you get to ask, why did they choose between, and this is again to Bill's point, between 7 and 12, who did you pick them and why? And did they help your core, pretty much your top 6?
You know, it's funny. After drafting at the 2 today, I'm almost like in our drafts, like in my best ball drafts, I love the 1. The 1 is like, it feels like I'm cheating. But in these drafts, I almost like the end. Like having to take Claypool at the 411 to me is just like, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm taking Claypool at the 411.
That's what I thought. I was
I
like,
think
he's taking Claypool at the 411. And then I thought, well, who's left? And then I was like, looking
Yeah,
through.
it's like, I'm not going to feel good about taking Ayuk there. I'm not going to feel good about Moore. I'm not going to feel good about Beckham. Like maybe Judy, but really I'm going to take Judy at the 411. Like that's way high. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, it's just like crazy. Like, it's almost better to have like the end picks in our drafts because it's like, yeah, okay. But I mean, you still get like Mixons. I know a lot of people don't like Mixon, but dude, he's going to get 20 touches.
Yeah, I don't like mixing above the second round. That's where I don't like mixing. Like,
I
so
like Mixon's projected workload a lot, but I mean, they brought in the dude from Clemson, and that's it. They were the worst ranked offensive line in pass protection and run blocking, 32nd in both categories.
No, the O line is going to be
That's
bad,
the
but the O
issue.
line is going to be bad for Najee too.
Well, no, I agree. That's why I'm a full avoid on Najee. The Steelers' run blocking last year was 29th.
Yeah,
And then they lose Villanueva and Pouncey.
and didn't replace him with anybody.
But the good thing with Mixon is, he's going to get all the pass catching, especially now with Gio gone.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's the
the
thing
thing
we
about
were
him.
saying,
Well,
Najee, he's going to have to get at least 5 targets a game to
Which
bring
I think
the
he
kind of
will.
value people
I think he'll be a 3-down back. He'll get all of the work.
Oh yeah,
As a rookie, he's
but
going to come
Mixon
in
is too.
Yeah,
And
no, I
I
agree.
and I also
just
like
saying-
mix. Oh, go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
I was just going to say that I don't like their offensive line and how they project this year. Grant, I love their workload. That's why I'm huge on David Montgomery. I mean, he's going to get 20 plus touches a game, just like these guys, but he's going 2 rounds after them.
Well, that's
And
where
he has a better
that's where you and I
O-line.
differ, but
Well,
So-
the difference is he's not a pass catching guy, and Tariq Cohen's back, so that's the only thing is that he's not like Mixon and
But
Harris. where
Montgomery
they're
was a
gonna be
pass
the-
catching guy.
That's because the pass catcher wasn't there, though. I do get
They-
their argument.
No, I already gave the stats on it. He had the same amount of targets per game when Tariq was there, and then when Tariq wasn't there, and Cordell Patterson was the guy as the backup. It was the same workload. He
Which,
averaged
by the way,
4.5
don't sleep on
targets
Cordell
per game.
Patterson in Atlanta.
yeah, but the thing is, okay, so David Montgomery had 3.6 receptions per game last year, which isn't bad.
On 4.5 targets a game, which was top 10.
True, but that was with Mitch Trubisky, a quarterback, Nick Foles, a quarterback.
Well,
I think with
and-
Fields,
He's
that
got to
might help
upgrade a
little bit.
quarterback.
So here's the other reason I like Mixon more. It's because he's got a team with a bad defense. Let's be honest. Cincinnati's
Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying
Yeah.
take Montgomery over Harris or Mixon. I am not saying that whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think they have very similar workloads, and Montgomery has a better offensive line. So in my mind, I like Montgomery more than those guys, but I would still take both of them over Montgomery.
yeah.
Yeah,
If that
And
makes
I'm not
sense.
saying you're not, but I think Mixon's passing work is going to be even more because they're going to bad O line. They're going to
You better
be
hope he
playing
has
from
10 catches
behind.
because he's gonna have 10 yards.
He won't have 10 yards, but he'll have 10 to 12. He could get 10 to 12
Well,
catches.
10 receptions for 10 yards.
Hey, PPR, that's 10 points.
11 points, but yeah.
11 points. 11 points. Hey, look, I might take Montgomery. I wouldn't take him obviously over Mixon or Harris, but look, this year, right now, as it stands, I'd probably take him over Miles Sanders. I'm not taking Sanders anywhere.
yeah.
And
No,
I'd take him
Sanders is
over,
like a do not draft him.
Etienne. So
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying. I'm not huge on Montgomery, because I think last year a lot of it was based on that schedule, the end, the way they finished, and they're going to try to revamp the offense a little bit. But yeah, I do think Montgomery's undervalued. So
I mean, if
I hear
Montgomery
what you're
does end up
saying.
being a 20-touch guy, then yeah, for sure, that 5th round is gonna be crazy. But I do worry again. Whatever you want to say about, I mean, they also brought in Damian Williams. Let's not forget.
Oh
So-
no, not Damian Williams.
Hey, look, I get it. I get it. But I always say it's like the same thing with Miles Sanders. It's like if you feel really good about what you have, you don't go out and bring more in of that position. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
and they drafted Herbert. I mean, late, but still, they drafted somebody.
yeah. Like, I mean, look, I still like he's gonna be the guy. But when you look at like Najee Harris and Joe Mixon, like Najee Harris is competing against Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland. Joe Mixon is competing against Chris Evans and Sama J. Pirine. Like, you know what I mean?
So with Demont with Tariq Cohen had 20.4 touches per game. Without Tariq Cohen, he had 21 even. So it went up 0.6 touches per game without Tariq Cohen last year.
That's weird because I remember. Let me see if I can pull this up.
So
Then why was he so bad with Tariq Cohen?
It was terrible O-line play. It really wasn't until they moved Whitehair from center to left guard, kicked him out to left guard, is where their offensive line went from like, I think it was like 28th to like 15th in the rankings. And maybe part of that was playing terrible run defenses. But once they adjusted the offensive line, Montgomery had a breakout.
Where are you seeing him? How many games
Well,
did Cohen play last year?
Did who play Cohen? He played like 3 games.
Because I'm
3
looking
games,
at,
4 games.
because I see
Three. The first 3. He
I see
played
Montgomery had 14, 19, and 16 touches in the first 3 games.
Yeah,
What
Cohen
were
only
the
had-
numbers?
He had
Oh.
13 carries, 1 catch in week 1, 16 carries, 3 catches in week 2, which is actually more catches than I would have guessed, and 14 carries, 2 catches in week 3.
Yeah, he was getting touches, and then he suddenly started becoming a lot more efficient. But what changed too? Didn't Matt Nagy stop calling plays, and they changed up that midseason?
Yeah, I mean there's variables when it comes to the Bears.
I mean,
But,
I've said I like the Bears more this year. I'm starting to come around on Montgomery for sure.
So here's a question. Do you think Tariq Cohen is going to be more of the thorn in the side of David Montgomery, or is Penny going to be more aside in Chris Carson?
I think Penny more is in the thorn in the side of Chris Carson because Cohen is not going to get early down work.
Cohen doesn't get any rushes. Penny will get rushes.
Very few. Penny will get some carries.
Cohen is only a pass catching back. That's all he brings to the table.
Yeah.
I thought he got some rushing work. Didn't I see that?
I mean,
Rush-
he does. He gets a few.
I think he got here. I have the numbers right here. I'll give you.
He got 7
This
in
was
the
only in
first
3
game,
games last year.
He got 5 in
But-
the second and 2 in the third game.
Yeah, he doesn't get a lot. He doesn't get a lot, that's for sure.
So Cohen, in his games that he played, he had 3 targets, 4 rushes.
Yeah. He doesn't get a lot. That's for sure. Yeah, no, I think Penny will be more of a thorn in Chris Carson's side. So
But I mean, David Montgomery has like the 22nd back taken.
no, it's fine.
Mm.
Totally
No,
fine.
yeah, I'm not.
Totally fine.
I love how it always comes back to David Montgomery.
I know how do every one of our drafts comes to David Montgomery. It's like he's the key to everything in fantasy football.
I mean, for me, he was last year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people that had him, won their leagues.
It's like I picked up Cam Akers off waivers in like week 10 before he started to break out, just like in the hopes that something would happen. So my running backs in the playoffs were Cam Akers and David Montgomery, and I just smashed.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, that's the thing because Cam Akers was, he was drafted, then he was dropped, then he was like picked up, then he was like dropped again. Right. It
was the week before they played New England. And everyone was like, "Oh, against the New England defense, I don't want Cam Akers." So somebody dropped him. I picked him up and played him because I needed a spot start in the flex. And he had like 180 yards or 200 total yards and a touch. I was like, "Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you dropping him."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was banging the drum for Akers all year long. Chris knows it was like to the point where it was obnoxious. It was like, look, okay, by midseason, it's like, okay, it's just not going to happen. Just give it up. But I'm telling you, man, he just needed the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. Sometimes what it takes. Especially for running backs, man. Especially for running backs.
Well, I think these drafts are hard. So I think I will say between that 8 spot and down, I think the drafts in here are a lot easier for people at the end. But I also think it helped that, we didn't have Chris or Pierre at the end. They were at the other end. So there was that as well.
Yeah, we were at the other end.
Yeah.
But that's true. We noticed that. Look, 10, we were saying the best teams today might have been 10, 11, 12, right? Obviously Jay at the end there. I mean, but how often does that happen? So it's definitely getting tougher for sure.
One of these afternoons when I have some free time, I'll jump on. I'll do one of the best ball championship drafts, and you guys will see, I'm telling you, if I was in the 1-1, I'd have McCaffrey, and then I'd have like Metcalf or Ridley, maybe one of the tight ends, and then I'd have like Keenan Allen, and then on the way back, I'd probably get like Deontay Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and then in the 6th, 7th, I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know what running backs. That's the thing. The running backs go a lot faster. So,
hey, Chris and Pierre, and Jay, you can answer this as well. Do you guys do the tier based when you draft? Like you have people in certain tiers and go through that? Do y'all have like a list or a sheet that y'all have that's like printable or anything?
I don't. They're like I have guys in tiers in my head, but I don't have it like on a sheet.
Yeah.
If that makes
Well,
sense. So I could say
well,
like to me, Allen Robinson is the end of a tier for wide receivers. But I don't like have a piece of paper that I have like all the tiers in. I just in my head I know that like that's the tier and like then that's the tier. You know what I mean?
And the only reason I'm asking is because you say these drafts are so hard, and you can get guys in those tiers that are a lot higher, who you think are better. And I do think that is the case when you go to your regular places and you draft. So it would be cool to see you guys kind of do that in a system. That way, when people go to their home leagues, they're like, Chris always grabs this one guy. What is his name? Like,
I know Pierre. Well, see, I hate doing rankings. I hate it. I think it's
It is tedious. I can.
tedious, and honestly, I think it's pretty pointless. It's pretty pointless. Definitely tiers are better because really, like let's look at like Keenan Allen and Terry McLaurin or something like, or Terry McLaurin and Allen Robinson. Like if Terry McLaurin is your wide receiver 11 and Allen Robinson is your wide receiver 12, what's the difference at the end of the year between wide receiver 11 and wide receiver 12? It's not like 100-point gap. It's not, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, a 10-point gap.
It was like 10 points, if that. Probably less.
It's like not even so doing rankings is like just because you have McLaurin ahead of Robinson doesn't mean he's like, oh, you like McLaurin way more. You know what I mean?
And one of them could easily have a down week where the other one had a boom week, and then it's flip-flopped.
Exactly. So I'm not really into rankings. I mean, I'll use them sometimes if I have like a tough decision. I'll go look at some guys that I follow who I like their rankings, and I'll see like maybe if they all have this one guy ahead of the other, I'll think, okay, maybe I'm not seeing something. I should play that guy. But I generally don't use rankings. But I do have in my head tiers like, you know, okay, I think these guys are in a running back tier, and then these guys are the next tier, but I don't have them on paper.
So to answer your question, Jeremy, I do rank guys and I do have them tiered, but the way that I do it is I only have 3 tiers, right? And then after that, it's just everyone who basically, you know, it's a shot in the dark. So basically like what we do past round 8 or so, like all of those guys are just below like what I would consider the top 3 tiers of players.
So like an example for me is, so Godwin went in that 4-2, like Deontay Johnson I think is better, Woods I think is better. I put Godwin in the Galladay Lockett, and I know it might not seem like a difference, but I feel like the upside for Woods and Johnson this year is higher than Godwin by a margin. So I think that's where it's going to come into play.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think tiers would be the best way to view it then for you. Okay. I think for you, the way you're looking at it is just the player you like more. Because when you have guys in tiers, you're just saying all of these guys are in the pretty much the same range. They're projected to have similar outputs. It's basically when you look at a tier now, you're looking at which guy do you like best from that tier. You know what I mean? And a tier isn't always 1 through 12, like a wide receiver 1. There's 3 or 4 elite guys that are in the first tier. Then there may be 15 to 20 guys that you have in that second tier. And then however many in the third tier. You know what I mean? So it's really just you're grouping guys based on similar projections.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so for my part, Jeremy, I'll just say I probably spend half of my life doing rankings because I rank for football and baseball, and I do every part of everything. Like, so for football, because I do it for Rotoballer for the site, and I'm on one of the rankers on Fantasy Pros. So I do rankings for PPR, half, standard, best ball, dynasty, and then weekly rankings. And then for baseball, I do like draft rankings. I just today did my rest of season rankings, dynasty. So yeah. So like today I spent about 2 hours just like updating my rankings.
That's a lot of work, especially for baseball. Holy crap.
Like it's easy at the top, guys, but when you start getting down in like the outside the top 100, it's
500s.
Oh my God, we're
So Pierre, can I go to when I go to Roto World or where was the other place you said you did it? Fantasy Pros. You say you do it for them as well, right? Is there a way I can look at your specific rankings, or is it just added?
Well, everything's on Roto Baller. If you go to Roto
Baller.
Baller, the rankings, we have a group. It's usually consensus, so there's like 3 or 4 of us, depending on what it's for. But yeah, if you go to Fantasy Pros, there's a way where you can pick like which experts you want to look. So you can, instead of everybody's rankings, you can just filter out the ones that you trust or like, whatever. So you should be able to find it on there.
Okay.
For best ball, I literally just updated my rankings on Rotoballer today and Fantasy Pros. I did that this afternoon. I don't remember last time I did. I did Dynasty like right after the NFL draft. My draft rankings, are whatever because nobody's drafting right now. But I
And
did
then
update them.
This is definitely a personal question for me. So for what do you consider a keeper league? We rotate every 3 years. So like after 3 years, it becomes just a redraft. Then you keep. So do you consider that for rankings? What's the best thing for me to go off of? Is that Dynasty or?
I would just
Well, that's the thing.
I
It's
would
different.
just go- I
Keeper,
would just go off-
Dynasty. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say I would just go off regular rankings and just obviously, like if CMC is being kept,
Prioritize.
yeah, you just eliminate those guys. I wouldn't. The only time it mattered, like it really, I don't really like keeper leagues. Honestly, I've played in a few. I'd rather just play in Dynasty or redraft.
Yeah.
My strategy always was at the top. I didn't change anything. I just drafted the whoever I thought was the best, or whoever I thought was the best for my team, or whoever I draft. But when I got to the bottom, that's when I started looking for guys like who could potentially, have that breakout season where next year, I'm getting this great keeper in the later rounds. So maybe he doesn't help my team. Maybe it's not what my team needs, but he'll be this great keeper next year. That's when I started thinking about it. I didn't think of like at the top of the draft. I just like give me the best players. But at the bottom of the draft, instead of maybe thinking like, well, I need some running back depth, I might have ignored that to take a wide receiver who I thought could be like an incredible keeper next year if he breaks out. And so that's the only difference to me. But yeah, that's fine.
Dynasty, to me, Dynasty is you're keeping like that team year to year pretty much intact, and you'll cut some players and you'll have a rookie draft and whatever. But Dynasty is like that's your team. Keeper, it's just depends. There's so many different things. There's a keeper league where sometimes I hear people like I can keep one guy, or sometimes we can keep 3 guys, and then sometimes it'll be like I can just pick any 3, or it could be like I have to keep them, but at the round they were drafted. Well, then that changes everything, right? Because it depends what you got them, when you got them.
So I was just gonna say that's all right. So you get to keep them at the round you drafted them, and then if they ever hit the waiver wire and you picked them up, they get to stay as your last round keeper.
See, that's the other thing. So you might pick up a guy off you might need something more off of waivers, but you see a guy on waivers who like, hey, this guy could potentially like break out, and he'll basically be free for me next year. It definitely changes your strategy.
So for example, like how I said I got Cam Akers off the waiver.
Yeah.
If you're getting Cam Akers with your last pick, that's a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why
the rankings don't matter.
That's why I just prefer Dynasty because no one's going to drop Cam Akers in Dynasty.
Even they did in my league.
In Dynasty?
Yep.
Well,
what?
Well, he was so set at running back that it was like his 4th or 5th running back.
Even still, you just
trade him.
Trade him.
Exactly.
Wow.
Or trade one of the other guys.
Yeah.
Well, he had James Robinson, and he thought he was perfectly fine, and dropped Cam Akers. So we know how that played out.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, we gotta get our dynasty chat on our league started, or at least because I've not played. So I've not done a dynasty league before. Like I've seen them, I know what to do, but I've not done it myself. So it'll be fun. Like I don't know for drafting. Are the rookie? So for some, I see the rookies are included, and some it's not, and you do a rookie draft.
Well, so this will be what's called a startup draft, and that will have everybody, vets and rookies.
Okay.
But then next year, it will only be the rookies, so it will only be a rookie draft.
So how do you determine who the pick order for next year? Is it based off of?
Last place gets the first pick, and first place gets the last.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Yeah.
You can also trade your pick. So, like Pierre and I were in a dynasty league together, and I had this really good team, and I was just basically like a RB2 away from being like unstoppable, and I traded like basically all my picks, and it worked, and I won the championship. But then I had no picks in the rookie draft. I had none, but it was okay. But it was okay because to me, it's like, hey, you know.
So can you trade picks in the startup? So I saw.
Yeah.
Yep, you can
Okay.
trade during the startup.
Like you could trade so say you had the 101 and you're not sure about McCaffrey, you could trade back to say the 105, get Kamara and pick up like the 212 in the 5th round, and then you'll have 7 picks in the first 5 rounds instead of just 5, and you'll have better depth.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like the real NFL draft, but you're doing it for like your whole team at first, and then it's like if you're like like you said, if you're at the 101 and you're like, I don't want McCaffrey, you can work out a deal with any of the other teams, and if the other team says I accept that deal, then yeah, you make that deal.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to try
And you
that
always
more.
have to think long term, because if your team is kind of like in that same league that Chris used to be in, we're still together. It's Roto-Ball Riders. We're still in it. So like last year, my running back got hurt, I remember, and so then I had like just a string of bad luck. So I was like, okay, forget it. I'm gonna build for next year. I knew I wasn't going to win it, so I started making all these trades. I bought low on guys like Chase Claypool and James Robinson. I got them for like nothing, like 3rd round picks or something. Because it was early in the season, and so now I somehow actually I traded too well, because then at the end I was trying to tank, but toward the end I won like 5 games in a row and I almost made the playoffs. But I still, going into this year right now in our draft, I have the 1.3, the 1.5, and the 1.7.
Wow.
So
I would trade those.
Yeah, I'm not huge on the rookie prospects this year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad because
I would trade him for some vets and take home that championship this year.
Yeah.
I
So
would keep
what
one
happened
for a wide receiver.
in my
it's super
dynasty?
flex, so I need a quarterback. So
Okay, I wouldn't
I'm
trade the
gonna
1-3 then. I would take a QB there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so if you have the 1-3, you're most likely looking at the 3rd best front QB, right?
Yeah, so you're
Some
Lane-
people might
Lane
like
Fields.
some people might like Harris, so you might get.
Yeah, you never know.
Lance.
In tournaments,
okay.
you don't know. Like it could go like Trevor Lawrence. Even Kyle Pitts could even go number 2. Like people are
Yeah,
crazy.
if it's a tight end premium, you could see Pitts go.
Yeah,
Even if it's not. I mean, people
you never know. People are crazy. Look, dude, another rookie draft we just did. Kyle Pitts was the 1.1.
Oh, God.
It is a tight end premium, but still, would I take Kyle Pitts
okay.
for
That-
one?
So wait,
No.
is it Superflex tight end premium?
That other one? No, it's not super flex, but it
Okay.
is tight end premium.
Then maybe
But
I
still,
can.
I wouldn't
maybe
take
I can
Pitts
get
for
behind
1.1.
that. Then maybe I can get behind that. But there was one where Matthew Berry tweeted out where it was Superflex tight end premium and Kyle Pitts went 1-1 over Trevor Lawrence.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, unless
Somebody's gonna
the
win.
team with the 1-1 has like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson as their quarterbacks, and they're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't really.
There's
need
no way that team got the first pick in the draft though.
Well,
Then
that's-
unless they traded for that.
That's true.
pick.
That's true. You don't have the 1-1 with those quarterbacks. That's true. Good point.
And so just one more quick question. Sorry for giving you guys QBs. When you play with a super flex or a 2 QB league, obviously we see most of our guys go like 5 or 6.
Oh no.
I assume once you get to that, they go 1st round, 2nd round.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean they don't go crazy. It's not gonna, but like you'll probably see. I mean, every league's different, but you'll probably see like 2 or 3 QBs in the first, a few more in the second, maybe a
So
run.
the keeper league I'm in is a super flex. So
Yeah.
I definitely see QBs go off.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you think that's where they should go. I definitely know that they do draft. Like you're not picking a QB up off the waiver wire, especially since
No. Well,
we only draft 12 spots. Our league has like 7 bench spots, and so I think we draft 18 spots.
Well, we're gonna draft 20. That's what we said. Did we say 20 or 24?
24.
We're gonna draft 24 spots. So chances are, yeah, even backups are gonna get drafted.
Yeah.
Even backups will get drafted. So you're not gonna find a lot on the waivers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely like either like super flex or 2 QB because I feel like not that QBs aren't valuable. I just feel like in one QB leagues, they're just watered down. Like,
No, for
you
sure.
go for the top 10,
Well,
top
you'd be
12.
surprised. In my dynasty league, it's a 1 QB league, but it's 6 point per passing touchdown just to give them additional value. I mean, some teams have 3 QBs on their roster.
Yeah, no, you even in a 1 QB league, you still
Mhm.
should because it's dynasty. Like you can't.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like in because the thing is like with the 2 tight end league, there's not 24 tight ends that you want to start every week. There's 24 quarterbacks at least every week that are startable, if not more, right?
Yeah.
Like 32 really that are startable. So, and the nice thing about super flex versus 2 QB is you don't have to start a QB in that flex. Like if you're hurting at QB, like if all your QBs are hurt or if they suck or they're benched, if you have good depth at another position, you can still start. It's not like you're screwed. You know what I mean? It's not like you're hosed.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, would you rather start, Jarvis Landry, who could get you maybe 15, 20 points any given week? Or would you rather play like Daniel Jones, who might get you 15, 20 points? And that's like in a
Yeah.
super flex, you kind of have to weigh your options there in that final spot.
Yeah, and it doesn't handcuff you if your injuries crush you. Like if you had, I don't know, Dak Prescott last year and who else? I don't know.
You're looking for an injured guy?
Or like somebody who just didn't play, like who didn't do what we expected them to do. I don't know, somebody who's drafted high, maybe like Matt Ryan.
Kenyon
Yeah,
Drake.
that's a good one.
Yeah, like if you
Or
had
Drew Brees.
or Drew Brees. Like if you had Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, and Drew Brees last year, and then Drew Brees is hurt and Dak Prescott's out, and now you're left with just Matt Ryan. You're not like, oh well, I guess I'm taking a 0 in that position every week, which that's no fun. That's not fun for anybody, right? It's not even fun for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
Yeah. I'm trying to offload Hopkins right now in my keeper league because he's my number 1 pick overall, and I won, so I'm at the 12. So it's not bad, but there's no value there, and so I'm trying to.
You got to think, if you don't keep him, he's put back in the player pool, right?
Yeah, and so
And then
I
what
think
what pick do you have? Do you know that yet?
Yeah, I have the 12. I won.
So I wouldn't, maybe don't keep anyone in the first or second round and take Hopkins on the wraparound, how I did here at like the 2-1.
You could probably still get him there.
Well, so I don't know if you get on the Discord, Jay, but I posted it. There will be I think 4 people are going to drop people because their first round picks were bust last year. So I think I technically, because we don't know who our keepers are yet, that isn't revealed, but I guessed and did my homework and figured out who would keep who. So I think I'm 70% correct. And so I think I have the 5th overall pick.
You posted it in their Endgame Discord?
I posted it in
was a while
the
back.
regular Discord, but it's been a while, so I can post it here in a little bit.
Yeah, do that. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, so I looked at keeper. I looked at who would be valuable in keeping, and then obviously who is just decent and good as well versus value. But I'm keeping Austin Eckler in the 7th, and I'm keeping Kittle in the 4th.
Yeah, just you got to think of those guys are so much better value than Hopkins in the first.
Yeah,
you
so
can keep those 2 guys and
That's
still
basically
take
where
a Hopkins in the
Hopkins
first
is
or
gonna go anyway.
second.
yeah.
You're just getting Hopkins at his value, basically.
Yeah, I'm just keeping, and so that's the kind of credit part. I'm like, I got to keep Hopkins at his value. I also had Josh Allen in the 2nd, but I feel like he'll fall to me. So I'm like, nope, you're going back in the
Oh,
That's a
first.
super flex, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
You think Josh Allen's gonna fall to you in a super flex?
Yes, because the funny part is the people that are getting their first round draft picks already are keeping QBs, so they're not. It's the thing is they're missing out on number 1 running backs or number 1 wide receivers. If I throw Hopkins back in, the number 1 guy is definitely taking Hopkins. I have Elliott going back into the player pool because one team was super stacked but didn't make the playoffs. So he has Mixon, Elliott, Ridley. Who else does he have? He has 7 different people. He can only keep 3. So they're going when I mean his team is stacked, he got Ridley in the 4th. He has AJ Brown in the 5th. He got I'm sitting here looking at all these, and so he was the toughest teams to suggest, but he's throwing a lot of the top end guys back in. that's where I think I'll get Josh Allen back. That's why I was like, I don't have a problem throwing him back in there.
Well, see, you also have to remember, even if a team's keeping a QB, they still might go QB early since it's a super flex.
They
Yeah.
could, but
So you're not
that means,
guaranteed to
like,
get Josh Allen.
but that's true.